Hello everyone, this is carbon cycling, the third part of the Unit 4, which relates to carbon cycling. The essential idea is that continued availability of carbon in ecosystems depend on carbon cycling. It's very important because carbon is one of the most important molecule atoms that are making our life possible. Ecosystems need carbon to be cycled, and without it, they could not survive. To illustrate this point, the coal shown above is formed entirely from partially decayed and fossilized plant and animal remains. You will see here like coals, and I'm sure that all of you have seen coal before, and that's completely coming from carbon. Carbon cycling shows that the fossilized and decayed animals will be remained until they turn to or they become fossil fuels, and right now this is the energy source of our entire Earth. One of the most important energy sources are fossil fuels. We will learn in this lesson how fossil fuels are formed as well. So, the understanding part. Some of these understandings are related to previous lessons, in which it shows that the carbon dioxide, whatever is happening with the cycle of the carbon dioxide in terms of production of oxygen and fixation of the carbon dioxide, which happens in autotrophs. Autotrophs could be inside in the earth or in aquatic ecosystems. Both of them have photosynthetic organisms, and the respiration, which causes the carbon dioxide going out or diffuse. This is also happening both in marine organisms and terrestrial organisms. Another thing related to carbon dioxide or carbon cycling is related to methane. Methane is produced from organic matter in anaerobic conditions by methanogenic archaeans, and this methanogenic archaean, after production of the methane, this methane will diffuse into atmosphere. Methane is oxidized to carbon dioxide and water in the atmosphere. Another part that you will learn in this carbon cycling is peat formation. You will see the diagram how a peat is formed, and how the partially decomposed organic matter from past geological eras, how they are converting either to coal or oil and gas. This is another oil and gas production is another part that you will learn. And also you will see that how carbon dioxide will be produced by the combustion of biomass and fossil fuels. This is what human being is doing right now by production of huge amount of the carbon dioxide to the atmosphere. And animals such as reef-building corals and mollusca have hard parts that are composed of calcium carbonate. This is one of the storage form of the carbon as a form of calcium carbonate, which will become fossilized in the limestone later. And estimation of carbon fluxes due to processes in the carbon cycle. How do we estimate that? And analysis of data from air monitoring stations to explain annual fluctuations of the carbon dioxide. And finally, construct a diagram of a carbon cycle. Alright, this is a carbon cycle and how to construct a diagram of the carbon cycle. For constructing a carbon cycle, I am suggesting you to do this activity. For doing this activity, you just write the names of the carbon related compounds and all other words over here, and try make the diagram by drawing arrow to show that how the carbon cycle is working. Let me explain a little about this graph. There are some numbers over here which looks very interesting. First of all, these two arrows. Alright, these two arrows. The red arrow shows the human emission. So numbers in parentheses refer to stored carbon pools. So stored carbon pools, which means that these parentheses, and red indicates carbon from human emissions. All right. First of all, inside the parentheses are the carbon pools, and here in the deep ocean we have 37,000 based on gigaton carbon per year. You see how much carbon do we have in the deep ocean, and like as a form of fossil pool we have 10,000 gigaton carbon per year, soil 2,300. So these are, and in the reactive sediments we have 6,000. These are the carbon pools that we have. Another numbers that are important you will see in this diagram. The human emissions, like these human emissions, 9 gigaton carbon per year is produced because of these factories or any type of human emission that is creating the carbon dioxide. Fossil fuels, cement, and land use change, 9 gigaton per year. And then 3 gigaton from these will be fixed by the photosynthesis. This photosynthesis from the terrestrial plants, 3 gigaton will be fixed, and from the phytoplankton and oceanic photosynthetic 2 gigatons will be fixed. But still we can see that 9 minus 5 will be 4. So we will have 4 atmospheric carbon net annual increase every year. The amount of the carbon dioxide fixed by the photosynthesis is definitely less than the amount of the carbon dioxide which is the result of the human activities and emissions. As I said, this is the activity and you need to do it by drawing on your note, and you will see the results here. You can pause the video and watch the result. And here is the link of the video. You will get this link either when you have the PowerPoint file, or you can find it through your managed pack. All right, the next part is very simple because we have talked about this before. It's about the autotrophs and how they are converting carbon dioxide into the form of organic compounds. It's completely talking about the light energy and photosynthetic, how the carbon dioxide through the leaves will be converted to the sugar by production of the oxygen and water. Plants initially synthesize sugar, but these are later, such as glucose, but these are later that will be converted to other organic compounds. These organic compounds could be complex carbohydrates like starch and cellulose, and also lipids and amino acids inside the plant by other chemical reactions. Nota bene, the point that you need to know is that, however, we have autotrophs which are doing the photosynthesis, but also we have chemoautotrophs. This means that they are not using the energy of sunlight in order to do photosynthesis. So they do their carbon fixation by utilizing the energy in the bonds of the inorganic compounds such as hydrogen sulfide. Carbon dioxide is forming two different forms. One is as dissolved carbon dioxide in the water, but most of the carbon dioxide go to become like a carbonic acid, and it will create proton ions. The formula is here. Carbon dioxide plus water creates carbonic acid, and this carbonic acid will make proton ions and carbonates. This is the chemistry, and this is the reason, showing that by increasing the level of the protons inside the water, then the pH will goes down because it becomes acidic, and that's the reason the carbon dioxide will make the oceans acidic. Both forms of dissolved carbon dioxide and hydrogen carbonate ions, both of them can be absorbed by aquatic plants and other autotrophs that they live in the water, and they can do their photosynthesis by carbon fixation. Carbon dioxide diffuses from atmosphere or water into autotrophs. How this carbon dioxide can move? As you can see in this diagram, due to photosynthesis, always the concentration of carbon dioxide will be low inside the autotrophs. So that's why you will see this this arrow showing the carbon dioxide concentration from higher outside to lower inside. So that makes it possible that carbon dioxide always diffuses from out of the leaf into inside. And here is the transverse section of parsnip. Some aquatic plants, example water lilies, have stomata, but in many fully submerged plants, diffusion happens directly through the surface tissues. When there is a submerged, then this means that it's fully inside the water, and it will be through the surface. Anyway, the places that the carbon dioxide will diffuse is in the terrestrial plants or land plants. There are stomata which opens some space for the carbon dioxide for moving and going inside. Carbon dioxide is produced by respiration and diffuses out of organisms into water or the atmosphere. This is showing the respiration. Organisms carry out respiration or release energy to form ATP. This is what we have learned before. And the carbon dioxide is a waste product of cellular respiration. Once the cellular respiration is done, the carbon dioxide will be produced at the end. In both cases, including aerobic respiration or anaerobic respiration, you will see the production of the carbon dioxide. In animals, we will have the lactic acid after anaerobic respiration. This is what happens in our muscles. And in plants, we will have the ethanol plus carbon dioxide. And aerobic respiration, of course, we will have like 36 to 38 ATP plus water and carbon dioxide, and this is the result of, or the byproduct at the end. This is the carbon dioxide that we will release after respiration as a form of exhaling or breathing out. In terms of the carbon cycle, three main categories of organisms carry out respiration. By autotrophs do the respiration, such as plants. Heterotrophs also do the respiration, such as animals, and saprotrophs and decomposers also, they are doing the respiration. So all of these are doing the respiration, and all of these are creating or producing carbon dioxide. Alright, let's answer this question. The following graph shows variation in the concentration of carbon dioxide in atmosphere as measured at Mauna Loa in Hawaii. The small inset graph shows the variation in carbon dioxide during the year. It's talking about this one. The question is, Why does the concentration of carbon dioxide go down between April and August? It was in here. So why this concentration is going down at this area? Please take into account that Hawaii is located in the northern hemisphere. So what do you think? Pause the video and answer the question. The multiple choice answers are here. Alright, you got the answer right, I suppose. Here is the graph, and it shows that the carbon dioxide, according to concentration per ppm, and this is the year. This is the increase of the level of the carbon dioxide during the years since 1958 something until 2007-8 around. But there is a decreased level of the carbon dioxide during the summer, right? This is also summer. So the rate of the photosynthesis in the northern hemisphere plants increases due to the summer season. That's it. Because the summer season means that the photosynthesis increase, and then they use the carbon dioxide. So that's why the level of the carbon dioxide goes down. Hope you have answered correctly. Right. Next question. In aquatic ecosystems, carbon dioxide is present as... Pause the video. Alright, dissolved carbon dioxide, only dissolved carbon dioxide and bicarbonate ions, and bicarbonate ions only, or carbonate ions. This is the answer. Dissolved and bicarbonate ions. Thank you for watching, and wait for the next video, which is related to peat formation.